Kuneco and Alma, welcome. We're going to talk about building an open financial system right now. And we will hear both from Impact Market and Consali on how their projects are building towards an open financial system through designing for all. Marco Barbosa, the founder of Impact Market, please tell us a little bit about what you are up to, what you have been up to.
All right. Thank you, Fernando. Just a little detail. I'm from Portugal. Now I'm in Portugal, so I'm presenting now Impact Market. That's the centralized anti-poverty system that we have been working on for the past 7 months. Actually, when we launched it 7 months ago. So basically, it's the centralized anti-poverty system that runs on top of Celo network and enables mechanisms like unconditional basic income. Next. And we are doing this because poverty is the main limiting factor for human potential. So basically, can you imagine all the talent in the world that is trapped on poverty? So basically, we think that it's time for a new approach, and we are setting the stage to end poverty by 2030. Also in line with the first Sustainable Development Goal. Next. So basically, after 6 months, we are about 0.0023% there, meaning we are already addressing that percentage of all the people living in extreme poverty. That's around 700 million people. These photos are from our current communities. Next. And to set up a community is quite simple. Here, basically, how it works. I'm not sure, well, if you can look with enough detail, but basically, usually we work with local charities that already support a group of people. So, for example, it can be a refugee camp, can be a favela in Brazil, can be farmers in Philippines. And usually, they just have to submit a form, and the contract is deployed automatically. So, for example, there are some Ubi parameters that are needed in order to create a community. So, basically, how much each beneficiary is able to claim. So, for example, $1 a day, up to how much each beneficiary can claim. Let's say it's $1 a day, up to they claim $350. And there is another parameter that is the time increment. So, basically, what it means is that each beneficiary, every time they claim, there is a time increment on that. So, for example, they have to wait at least 24 hours to claim each time. But every time they claim, for example, if there is 5 minutes, they have to wait then 24 hours and 5 minutes. After, they have to wait 24 hours and 10 minutes. So somehow they are kind of buying their basic income with time. It also helps like the basic income to last longer and to give priority to the people that claimed less money. So after submitting a community, the impact market governance just accepted. A new contract is deployed for that community in specific. And after, any backer can send Celo dollar to any contract to support the community they care about. And they can explore, they can see different indicators about that community, how people are interacting. So it's quite easy, and there are no intermediaries, and there is full transparency. Next. So we have now almost 16,000 beneficiaries with access to UBI. They are claiming They have claimed almost 700,000 Celo dollars so far across 68 communities, including refugee camps in Africa, favelas in Brazil, farmers in Philippines, neighborhoods in Venezuela, Nigeria, Argentina. We are starting now in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Morocco. And it's our goal to expand to the most challenging places with the most vulnerable communities. Where no one else can reach, that's where we go. Next. So going a little deeper on this. So people are on average across all the countries. So some communities are claiming more money, less money, depending on the reality. But on average, they are claiming almost 50 cents a day, and it's lasting for almost 4 years. On average, we are taking out of extreme poverty about 5 people every hour. The beneficiaries have transacted directly about more than 1.2 million fellow dollars directly through their Valora, and that was through 73,000 transfers. That is roughly 26% of all the Celo network. Next. So we plan to scale to millions, and we believe that we are well positioned to do that. And there are key points where we have been working on in order for us to be able to do that. So in the first place, there is quite simple and fast to set up a community where just deploy as soon as the contract is deployed. It starts running and people can start claiming their basic income. There is no need for smartphones or internet. That we are already working with Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya. Is one of the biggest refugee camps in the world, and we are working with Pay in order to provide that. So basically, just through USSD commands, they can claim their basic income and receive directly on their M-Pesa. Also, another way is just to support these communities is just to deposit funds and give your yield. Also, because through UBI, as we are approaching a lot of people, what we are seeing is that as soon as we reach like hundreds of beneficiaries in one community, the local merchants around cannot afford to be out of it. So, especially in these very vulnerable communities where people usually don't have buying power, and we are seeing, for example, in several favelas that several local merchants were about to close and end their operations, also because of the COVID, before using Valora. So this is kind of not only because they have access to US dollars, but also it's free to transact and they can earn on top of those dollars. This is also a way to reach a lot of more customers, which is amazing for all the community. Next. So we are working now on, as a next steps, we are working now on launching our own governance and incentive token. So we believe that we want to give the power of ownership to the community themselves and also to incentivize more people to participate. Also storytelling from the beneficiaries themselves. We have been running a pilot for plastic collection in one of the favelas where basically we are paying in Celo dollars for each kilo of plastic collected for recycling. And also working on collective savings and lending mechanisms, and we are deploying an impactor measurement framework. So not only about to show the transactions and volume and activity in each community, but also going deeper to understand what the impact on their life. Next. And just to kind of summing up, we want to deploy the system based on this kind of orientation that the system is designed to alleviate poverty, increase access to finance and wealth redistribution, ensure the primacy of the individual, and also make it as decentralized as possible, both on governance, management, and being independent from public and central authorities. Next. And we think that it's time for UBI and to provide a wider access to financial services to everyone. Next. And that's it. So as Martin Luther King, we are in the same opinion that it's time for UBI. And that's it. Thank you. I think you're muted.
Thank you, Marco. Yeah, so this time it was my own fault. So thank you again, really, and thank you for working so hard here with the people in Brazil. I know that your impact market projects are very well regarded by the people there that participate in it. And next we have Anna Kozlowska, who has been a colleague of mine at C-Labs and now is the co-founder of Corsali. And please, Anna, tell us more about how you're empowering people with earning in CUSD.
Thanks, Fernando. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Great. Can you see? There we go, the slides. So Corsali is a full stack machine learning platform that abstracts away the complexity of building and deploying machine learning models at scale. Today, if you're a company that wants to use machine learning, you need to hire specialized engineers. You need to know how to spin up a GPU server. You need to know how to train models. And you also have to think about this human operations component of kind of finding people to generate training data for you. Our use cases range from predicting group airline prices and tagging the contents of tweets to identifying wildfires and categorizing documents. And all of this is powered by a team of highly educated workers who are earning CUSD from their phones. And the sorts of tasks that they're doing range from knowledge work of looking at a specific PDF and kind of using their background, for example, in accounting to be able to understand certain payment terms. That is to power a machine learning model for a fintech company, all the way to actually picking up the phone and calling an airline to get pricing if we need to kind of help collect data. And so it's really this wide array of tasks that I think over time are going to become more and more specialized and require more and more education. And so for a lot of our workers, it allows them to use their specialized skill set of having a college degree or of being passionate about fashion, for example, and being able to label clothing and allow them to earn cryptocurrency. And for us, Celo is the ideal blockchain because there are fast block times, so we can send a transfer in real time. There are low fees because often we're sending very small transactions of $5 or even something as small as 10 cents. And then there's also a stable value currency, so we don't have to worry about the price changing if we were using something like Ethereum. So just to go a little bit more into why Celo really helps us so much, I wanted to compare the cost and time to send $5 from the US to someone in Kenya. So if you were to use any traditional financial system, it would cost you about $2 to send $5, right? And at that point, it might not even be worth sending the transaction. It would also take as much as a few days. And that really kind of changes just the interaction and the structure of incentives. I think that the ability to complete work and earn in real time really helps to build trust. And in some ways, if you tell someone, I will pay you in a week, they might not believe you, right? And so really being able to show this real time, hey, do good work right now. In 5 seconds, you will get paid, makes a big difference. And then the fee here, just a fraction of a cent, really. Some of this priced in as well comes from Katani Pay taking a fee in order to have our workers turn their CUSD into M-Pesa that they can spend locally. The other thing that Jackie talked about a little bit yesterday in her presentation about Valora that I wanted to add to is that workers, often our workers, they haven't had a savings account before, or a bank account. And so this is their first time saving. And they found sort of, if I hold it in Valora, I can earn more. And that's coming from the CUSD rewards in Celo. We've actually seen some of our workers turning their earnings in CUSD into Celo so that they can hold an asset that allows them to invest in this new way. And this is really their first investment ever. And it's incredible to see this kind of emerge naturally through Valora and through the Celo ecosystem. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. Excited to be here with the whole Celo community today.
Okay, Anna, great. I do think we have 1 minute or two. And I would like to ask you a question, and Marco can also pitch in. These people are using cryptocurrency probably for the first time. What is the challenge? What is the biggest challenge for them in using Celo dollars? Or is there anything in their use of cryptocurrency that has surprised you?
Yeah, so I think that the point on saving and investing has surprised us in some ways. Initially, what we saw is people would get their Celo dollars and immediately turn it into M-Pesa and then spend it locally or save it in M-Pesa. Now what we're seeing is that people have realized that they can earn interest if they hold it in Valora. So they're actually keeping their earnings in Celo dollars or in Celo rather than the earlier behavior of kind of immediately switching it out.
Have you watched something similar in the communities that you are working with, Marco?
Yeah, so basically, initially, we never talk about blockchain or crypto. It's a free, it's an app that is free and you can get dollars. And usually when we are seeing that, even if it was another kind of money, people will kind of get adapted to that, will learn and will use it, because in these cases, people are actually needing that money. And it depends on the country. For example, in Venezuela, people are saving a lot of that money because they see hyperinflation happening. And as soon as some merchants around start accepting it, it's kind of a normal thing. Usually the biggest barrier we see is in the first or second cash out, because we believe that's kind of important that people do one or two cash outs so they believe what they are seeing on the app is actually money. But as soon as they know there is a way to cash out and they already did once or twice, and more people around start accepting that, is kind of, we are seeing in some favelas that CUSD is already the most used currency. So there is a lot of kind of benefits around that. It's protection against hyperinflation. People can transact it kind of very fast and for free, and also earn Celo on top of that. Now we see the opposite reactions, like even people outside of those communities are interested in buying Celo dollar from the beneficiaries themselves. So kind of that's also giving the...
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at the watch and I see that our next speakers are already ready. So I would thank you and Anna a lot.